At this time, I'm going to have Tom Cunniff come to give us a report on the first ballot for the bishop election.
Good morning. I would like to take the very brief privilege to say a huge thank you to the Elections Committee, who not only stayed here last night counting until the wee hours, but then rushed back this morning to recreate the ballot, get it out to you, and get it counted again. Thank you. The first ballot for the presiding bishop, there were 897 ballots cast. Of those, 893 were illegal. The number, were legal. Four were illegal. The number of votes required for election was 670. May we see the results, please? Paul has them. They don't have them? I have them. I will read the relevant results. First place with 725 ballots, or 81.19%, presiding Bishop Elizabeth Eaton. And there they are. As chair of the Elections Committee, I declare we have an election.
We'll now invite our presiding bishop to share a few words.
Thank you, Vice President Horn, and thank you to all of you, and thank you to the voting member who rightly brought to our attention that we were not following our own procedures. The law is in place for a reason, but I'm really happy for the gospel part right now. 6 years ago, I wanted to start a conversation that got out of hand at that time, but to draw us to understand 4 things: that we're church first, that our lives are not only supported, but our lives are surrounded, and our lives have their basis and meaning in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And especially as we experience that in our lives, are changed by that in word and sacrament. That's where we get any authority, or certainly any integrity, to do works of love and justice, because we're church. And we're Lutheran, and as you'll hear later on, in some parts of the world, they have no idea, or some parts in America, they have no idea. Well, some places in Arkansas, they have no idea what a Lutheran is. There you go, ELCA. And we've already heard from the Women, Sexism and Justice Task Force presentation, and from the wonderful sermon yesterday from Secretary Berger, that Lutheran theology is a distinctive voice that needs, I think, even more than ever to be raised in the public square, as well as in our ecumenical and interreligious relationships. We present, thank you. Or I should say, God has given us the opportunity to present an alternative face of Christianity, certainly in the United States context. And we're also church together, as we just heard from Dr. Bullock, that we can't do this by ourselves. And in fact, it's scriptural. In baptism, we are made one. In some ways, as I think we'll hear in the next presentation, that oneness is not complete and it's painful, but it's the truth. We are connected one to another in the body of Christ. And we are church for the sake of the world. This is not just our resources, our money, our gospel, our Jesus. This is all that God has done through Jesus to serve and save a world God so loves. So church, looks like we're stuck with each other for a few more years. And we've got work to do that God is giving us to do. Thank you.
I now turn the chair of the plenary back over to Bishop Eaton.
So, pray for this man. This is my dear husband, the Reverend Conrad Selnick. We've been married for 35 years this year. The proud parents of 2 grown daughters and the sons-in-law, and most recently, the grandparents of Jonah. People used to ask us what kind of deep, in-depth theological conversations we would get to at the dinner table. Well, mostly we were driving kids to various activities, so we weren't at the dinner table. But really, my husband is a brilliant theologian, cares deeply for the church, has a keen ecumenical sense, and is deeply committed and immersed in the love of Jesus Christ. So thanks, Conrad, for 35 years.